adventures we've all been on, because we've all been to different places and done different things. Sue, are you able to come up? Would you like to come up?
Yes.
That's fine. Thank you.
I'm Sue. I've been with the support group, well, I've been diagnosed for a year now, and I've told people and friends and family, had mixed reactions. It's helped me a lot with dementia, and it's enabled me to talk more openly about it to family and friends. Some people understand it, some don't. There's a lot more work needs to be done out there for people to understand it. I've attended dementia planning events that have enabled me to ensure the person with dementia is at the centre of all the discussions about dementia activity in the city. Quite often we have people come in.
Come meet with the group, don't they?
Yeah. Being able to compare what Stoke receives in the way of support opposed to North Staffs. I live in Cheadle, and the support in Cheadle is vastly different from Stoke. When I was diagnosed, I was just given phone numbers for Alzheimer's Society and Age UK. I'm told to contact them, and that was it. I haven't got any, what's it called? Advocate, is it? I haven't got an advocate or anybody. I've also contributed to commissioners attending the peer support group with questionnaires about various things relating to dementia planning in the city, which is ongoing. And with the money received from DEEP to enable the group to purchase an iPad, the group have been able to make valuable contributions with the laughing person at the end. To the proposed dementia website, looking at other websites to compare. And I've also been, I've done 3 research so far, and I'm due to do a 4th one next week, which will hopefully help people in the future.
Yes. Michael, are you okay to come and share with us what you've done since being a member of the group? You alright, just mind the
Bullshit.
trips and days out and
I like to tell what was here, stuff from dementia. Luckily, I'm still only in the early stages. With this, being with this Beth Johnson group, to support, we support each other, and that's a real help. It's helping other people like, and to learn how they've coped, and you know, there's no simple answer, no single answer. You know, you just got to do the best that you can.
last year.
And this current year, I'm attending a group of meetings with Stoke-on-Trent Council. We're planning a dementia event, citywide and in a week. You know, that sort of thing makes me feel good. But although people say I've got dementia, and you know, I can still contribute at a higher level. You know, so a diagnosis of dementia doesn't necessarily mean in the end it's the way that you cope with it. Last year, the Southland, one of the we gave a consultation on dementia, and we're able to demonstrate that you can't only live well with dementia, but you should have an input into any planning about dementia. You know, I mean, after all, who knows dementia better than the people who suffer dementia? You know the dementia, you know what you need. Myself and one of you know, we went to Derby to a dementia group there. They'd been to one of our meetings, and they appreciated, they wanted to show how their group worked. and how well people can live with dementia. And you know, it was nice to be able to contribute to other people, nice to contribute to all. And with the Beth Johnson group, we've had commissioners come in and we've talked to them and explained what our needs are and how we think that they can help us and help people with dementia sufferers in general. I was also on the film making that film, and it's quite enjoyable. But the main thing to remember is that just because you've got dementia, it doesn't mean you can't do anything. Unless in the very late stages. I mean, I treat it as a joke. Because one of the dementia advisors said, oh, you know, put little tickets around the house. So, but you know what you're doing, don't forget anything. So, did all things, you know. Remember to switch the lights off, remember to close the doors, check the cookers off before you go to bed. So, I've just put one sticking next to my side of the bed. Remember sex every night. And you know, so I to a couple of films, and I've enjoyed being Beth Johnson like it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Are you alright, John, to come up? Is that alright?
Excuse me.
Just mind. Where are you coming? Mind these cables.
I've not spoken. I'm John. And recently, well, many years ago,
About a year, yeah.
diagnosed with the dementia, Alzheimer's. And I was going to the memory clinic, and I was pleased to say that I got support of Jane as my support worker. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I must be quieter now. I had a shock through the dementia, through the Alzheimer's results. We went three months before, and we'd had a meeting with the consultants, I was told, and Jane, as much as myself, were quite surprised. He says, you've not got dementia, everything's well, there's a slight problem there, but it's just a memory. But it's not Alzheimer's or dementia. Both myself and Jane was really pleased for me. 3 months later, I went to the memory clinic, and they said, oh, you won't be seen us, the consultant needs to see you. And I want to bring this up because we worked out that I had to have an ECG, and then I had some blood pressure. Was there anything else?
Blood test as well.
Blood test. And when the doctor, because she said I need to do them now, when the consultant called us in, she had a brief look through the file, and then she says, you have got Alzheimer's. Well, that was like somebody punched me. It was a great shock, and I couldn't take it in, and they sent us into another room after she discussed a few things which I can't recall, because Jane probably know I don't always remember everything. And I was given a lot of literature from Approach, but I couldn't follow it because I was so mixed up with being diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and 3 months told me before I was clear. So it had a really bad effect on me. I shut myself off. I was in sheltered accommodation. I was well liked. I got the name Jolly John because I was always going on, and I became a totally different person. And the warden there did her best to try and get me to go down. And what it was, I did go down briefly, but I found I was getting irritable with people, and I couldn't understand why. It was probably the way I couldn't understand the diagnosis. I couldn't take it in. So it had a bad effect on me. And I shut myself off for about, I think it was about 2 months. And then gradually I did start going down, felt a bit more confident, and I'm pleased to say that the Jolly John's name's come back. But I was getting irritable because I don't know, it's frustration. I couldn't understand why me. Why was I diagnosed? Did I have a meeting? No, you know, everything was well, and then told it's not well. And that, to this day, I can't understand, because it did really have a bad effect on me to take in. But anyway, apart from that, that's that bit.
You joined the group?
I joined the group with the support of Beth Johnson and Jane and Betty and
Group
colleagues.
members.
We got, you know, it opened up more awareness to myself, because I think I shut myself up, because I thought, like, you're the only one with that problem. What have I done wrong? I think people don't want to know me, because I was so tense, and it took a long, well, not a long time, but I knew there was something wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on it. But I went to his support,
The peer support groups?
peer support group, and gradually I got a bit more confident, and been
We went to Derby with Michael, didn't
yes,
we, John?
when Mike mentioned it, Derby, I went with Michael and
And
yourself,
Yeah.
and we had a really interesting day, very informative, enjoyed it. The organisation, you know, the peer support group, they wanted us to be there to sort, you know, they were pleased how we reacted to their
How are you living with dementia?
I'm
Now you
living
can
with
still be
dementia.
involved with
must give me a
different projects.
I think you know I've got dementia. Alzheimer's. But
Yeah. You've recently taken part in some research, John, about comics.
oh yes, yes. A young lady attended, I can't recall her name.
I can't, John, but she was from Manchester University. Sarah.
Sarah.
Thank you, Betty.
And she was doing some caption of cartoon where a person was with dementia or Alzheimer's, and they couldn't remember things, and they did in a cartoon caption, and it was interesting, but I didn't feel sure it was the right for that. But at the same time, after I thought, yes, it's a good thing to have a bit of humour at it, because he did act a bit of humour, which when you're not yourself, you don't have a lot of confidence. I mean, it's really hard for me to speak to you all, and I'm not just saying
Really
that.
appreciate it.
I'm not usually, I'm happy with about 4 hours, and that's too much. So, it's been a great help to know that I've got the support of Beth Johnson, Betty, and the whole organisation, the colleagues, and it's certainly brought me a bit close to understanding Alzheimer's. But I still have problems taking things in. I still forget birthdays, especially my own. But I think that's fine.
Thank you, John. That's great. Matt, are you
What you do?
able to come and share?
Little man coming through.
This is Matt.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Before I say anything, you've seen the film, you know a little bit about us. How many of you actually feel that we are suffering from dementia? Nobody. And you're all wrong. Because I forgot what I said there. No, on a serious note, it is frightening. Let me tell you this. I have had heart surgery, I had triple bypass, and wasn't frightening. My doctor, the surgeon, told me that we don't know whether you've got 6 seconds, 6 months, or 6 years to live. We are going to have to operate. Sign here, please. They went through all the risks, and I was operated on something like 10 years ago. After that, sometime after that, when you go through a major surgery, they do a brain scan. And it was through that brain scan that I was diagnosed with this illness. Heart surgery didn't frighten me, dementia did. Because I didn't know anything about it, I only knew the worst possible condition that you can have. And I believe that something like the professor said, a great many people think the same. I thought the same. I didn't mention it. I couldn't talk to anybody. And really and truly, it was an organization that actually brought me up, and I am in a state here talking about it, and the credit goes to Betty and Jane.
And yourself, Mark. Sorry.
There was things said about having a laugh and having some teas. Now both laughing and crying are so private and personal. One can only do it in front of people that they really care about. And I'm really deeply honored today because of the organization and the people, the professional people that are here. And I think I can share all this, and I can both have a laugh and cry with all these people.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Are you alright, Colette?
No.
No? Can I welcome Colette to the stage? She can share with us what she's been up to. And part of the group and your own initiative as well.
Hi, my name's Colette. I was diagnosed last October. I was a little bit different in that I felt over probably 6 years. I've worked in the care sector, so I felt that I had the onset of it, but never really did anything about it. It was put down to depression. So I was put on antidepressants. And then last year, I moved here 2 years ago. The children are all grown up and flown the nest, and live on my own. And I came in from outside to find the chip pan. I used the old-fashioned, or did, the old-fashioned chip pan. To find it was at last heat.
Sorry. You're right.
Looking at the chip pan, didn't have any recognition, didn't have any idea. I live on my own. If I'd been with the children, obviously I would have thought maybe one of those. That frightened me, so I went to the GP, sent me to the memory clinic, and I was diagnosed. So the children bought me an Actifry, so I don't use, at least it has a buzzer on it. I mean, they do say that you won't be diagnosed on your own, but I was on my own last year. I didn't realise that, although I knew I felt I had it, I didn't expect it on the day, so I found it devastating. And I was given a big pack of leaflets, and Gary must have given Jane my number. I don't really remember how we got.
Yeah, it was to do with work and benefits. Yeah.
I worked, I won't say what, how, where. I was a healthcare assistant with the homeless. I've worked in prisons and up till last year on healthcare, done the phlebotomy and different things. But work didn't know how to deal with it, so they told me to go on the sick. I was diagnosed on the 15th of October, and they put me on the sick from the 19th. And I've just given my notice in because they don't feel they know how to deal with it, really. They said I can go back, but I feel now I've lost all trust and faith, really, in them. And that is the NHS I work for. So,
Did they offer you a job doing the filing in a back cupboard, didn't they?
oh yeah, they
That was
offered
to
me
go
a
back.
job to go in at Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like Christmas Eve to go and do some filing in a cupboard in the civic offices in Newcastle. And I
Oh,
said,
yeah.
no thanks.
No.
Um,
So you've become part of the group. haven't you,
I
Paul?
became part of the group and I absolutely love it. I do think that I would have a lot of PJ days, pyjama days if anybody. I've lost that oomph and motivation somewhere. The only way I can explain it is I feel like I'm crying inside all the time. Jane came along and I don't know whether you've seen on the notice board, there's a picture of me and my son. He's going to do the
Alzheimer's.
Ultra Challenge or
Yeah.
something, a marathon of 63 miles for the Alzheimer's. He researches everything, he looks into everything, he's 35 and it mithers me to death, so I don't tell him anything. I say, Mum, get on this project, get on me. So I go to the group and I love it. I met Sue and the others, but I suppose having somebody to chat to and we can have a laugh about our own daft things we do really. I'm also on the dementia friendly for the Stoke. Attending Plan Dementia event. Oh yeah, they're doing an event
Planning event in November.
for Leek and
You're on the committee for that, aren't you? Yeah.
I do forget which I'm on, what they're called, but I go to them. I have a reminder through and then I turn up. And I wanted to raise some money because I felt it was really sad that they had to rely on a donation for an iPad and things, and I think the peer group is lovely. So I wrote to different companies for a raffle. I had probably 10 responses, didn't I? I felt it was a bit, but then I suppose they have scammers, don't they, that write to them for things, but really pleased on the raffle
So
we're going to do today.
We are, yeah.
And
You've
that's for the
sold
peer group,
you
isn't it?
yourself and Sue sold tickets out and about, and there's tickets available for people if they wish to buy. The prizes are the donations that companies that Colette has written to have kindly given to us. And obviously we've put a copy of your letter, that's up on the wall, but we have put a copy of the letter, what Colette herself has thought she needed to do in amongst your pack. That's a good response.
Yeah.
People that you think you wouldn't have had a response of, we have, and people that you thought you would have had a response of not
Even
acknowledged
as
at all.
the day before
Yeah.
yesterday, I had 2 tickets through for the Vic Theatre, and I just think that, you know, if people can be aware. And so I'm now jobless, so if anybody would like to, I'm on the dole if I.
What have you experienced?
What, being on the dole?
Yeah.
It might be. We went to a care home the other day. What day was that?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, for people with dementia, and we did some painting and it's lovely. And I suppose because I've worked in the care sector, it frightens me because I know what. And I said, I'll just cause my kids havoc. I will make sure Farmer comes round and hits them if I can remember. But yeah, we had a really nice time and sort of painting with
The residents.
residents and had a laugh and really enjoyed it.
Thank
Is
you
that
very
it?
much.
Thank you very much.
Can I now introduce Jane, who's from the Clare, even, the local authority.